Hi golfers, Nick here from Untitled Golf. It's Friday, so welcome to another lesson on golf tips. This week on Golf Tips we're discussing the downswing for the stack and tilt golf swing. You may have seen my previous lesson, we talked about the backswing, and the lesson before that we talked about the setup for the stack and tilt swing. So if you haven't seen those videos, please check them out. So in this video we're going to talk about how we get from here to here in the finish, going into a little bit of detail at certain positions in the downswing. So from the top, as my swing starts down, as I start my transition, you'll notice my lower body weight is moving forward towards the target. You'll notice when I'm doing that, my head is staying in position. And by the time I get to left arm parallel position 5P5, you'll notice the angle between my left arm and the club shaft is actually decreased from 90 to between 70 and 80 degrees. I'm creating a little bit of lag as I come back down. If I look at my swing at position 5 from down the line, you'll notice how the club shaft should be going through the bicep at that point. From there, we're going to move on to the club shaft parallel to the ground, position 6P6. You'll notice how the weight starts to move in further forward, the left knee is outside the left ankle, the head is in position, and the hands are roughly over the right thigh at that point. You'll see all the best golfers roughly in that position with the hands. At this point, the right elbow is still bent. If you look at it from down the line, you'll see how the club head is roughly in line with the hands. The left arm is roughly vertical to the ground. It's certainly not out in front of me, and also the club is not outside my hands. I'm still on the arc of the circle to hit into out, so the club head is in line with the hands or slightly in. That's quite a key point there. As we move on to impact, the weight continues to move further forward. As we're coming down into impact, the head stays in position. The weight's probably now 80% on my left, the knee's outside my ankle there, hands are forward, head's in position. We look at it from down the line view. Roughly, my shoulders are square to the target, roughly. My hips have started to open as I've gone through. From that point, my head is roughly in the same position it was at setup and at the top of the backswing, so my head hasn't moved, but the weight has moved forward and the hands are forward. That's quite important as you hit through. The weight on the left and the hands forward. That's going to help you compress the golf ball. It's going to help you strike the golf ball well. It's going to help you hit the ball first, then the ground. If your weight's back and the handle's back, you're always going to hit the ground before the golf ball, and I see that mistake all the time. Another thing you'll notice at this point is my right arm is roughly straight. It probably doesn't reach straight, so just after impact. So now let's move through to position 8. Now where the club shaft's parallel to the ground, P8, you'll notice the weights continue to move forward. You notice my arms are now pretty straight as I've gone through. From down the line, you'll notice how my hands and the club head have moved inwards. They're not moving down the target line, they're moving inwards in an arc around my body. You'll notice how my head is roughly at the same position it was at setup and at the top of the backswing. One thing to note is my head is actually on my cap slightly tilted that way, and that's quite key because I see a lot of golfers trying to keep the head still. As they go through, they sort of keep it down like this, and you have to allow it to tilt as you go through. We don't want it to move out of the box or position, but we do want it slightly tilted. So if you look from this angle, as I go through, my cap's sort of facing this way at this point. That's allowing me to turn. That's quite important. Now, as we go into the finish, position 9P9, at this point now, my left leg is roughly straight. You'll see how my hips are in front of my head as I've gone through. My body's in what we call extension here. See how the chest points up in the finish? Chest points up, the body's in extension. The right knee is almost on the left knee at this point. If we look at it from down the line, you'll see how I've got my left arm is bent, so it's roughly bent 90 degrees there. In the backswing, the right arm bends roughly 90 degrees, and the follow through, the left arm bends roughly 90 degrees. So they're sort of the key points for the golf swing, and I would say the main thing is your head stays pretty centered throughout, but the weight doesn't shift to the right in the backswing, it stays slightly favouring the left, and then from the top of the backswing down into impact it moves progressively forward. So my weight is sort of 60-40 on the left at the top. As I come down, 70-80%, 90% in the finish, as it's continued to move forward, but the head stayed in position. Hopefully, if you can put it all together, you'll strike the golf ball well. Let's give it a go. Okay, pretty good contact there. Pretty straight shot, bit of a draw on it. I hit the ball first, then I hit the ground, and that's the key with a stack and tilt golf swing. You've got to make sure you hit the ball first, then the ground. All the best players do it. That's what links them all. They don't always hit it in the middle of the fairway or the middle of the green, but they always make good contact, and that's the key for the stack and tilt golf swing, to help you get into impact in a better position than you would do with a normal golf swing. So golfers, if you've got any comments on that, please post them in the box below, or you can catch them on other social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Holding on.